Hello, and welcome to Origami with your blind brother, starring me, Zach, your blind brother. Today, we are going to make a crow. So, as always, you're going to start with your rectangular sheet of paper. Here you go, and you're going to stand it up nice and in front of you so that it is taller than it is long. You're going to start by taking that top right corner, folding it down, making a flush edge with the left side of the sheet, or the left edge of the sheet. And once you have that nice and flush there, good point in the corner, you can go ahead and crease down that whole edge. Give you a nice angular fold there. Call it like a hard 45. Alright. And once you have that done, you'll flip it over so this little excess bit is sticking out up top. And you are going to fold it back like this, creating a flush edge once more with the bottom edge of your triangular fold. As if it was a square, but it isn't. It will be soon, so don't worry about that. Just want to make sure it is good and flush, and you are then going to just crease down that new edge. Like so. Bada bing, bada boom. Then you're just going to run your nail along it a few times, thin it out a good bit. There's a few different ways you can do this. The way I'm going to do it is to flip it back the other way. This way I can hold it and then just pinch between my fingers with my nail making direct contact and just running that down the edge of the paper a few times, just thinning it out. If you don't feel comfortable doing this as well, you can just lay it down on a hard surface and then just run your nail up and down it, same thing, 5-6 times, and you'll be good. Once you do that, you're just going to lay it down, press down on the triangle side with your hands, and you will just gently rip down that line that you have made. Not messing it up, because that will mess up the square. If that happens, it's alright, but I don't like it to happen. You'll end up with this little excess bit of rectangle here. You can just put that to the side. We're not going to need that anymore. Don't throw it out though. As I say, when we're done, you could always use that little bit of extra to follow all the steps again, but smaller, and make a tiny one. So today, we're going to be making the crow. So to start, well, once you've finished the first step and you have your square, you're just going to take that and fold it in half. Get that top edge nice and flush with the bottom, like so, look like a hot dog bun, and then you will just crease it. Press it down nice and flat like that, looking like a hot dog bun. Next step, open it up like it's a book, fold it down again, folding that book spine in half, making it nice and flush with the bottom edge once more. And then creasing it again, making a plus sign, discounting that angular fold going down it. So you've got your plus sign like this, and now with the plus sign poking up like a little tent when you lay it down, you'll just grab it by the creases, not in the middle but near the middle like this, and then you will just bring your hands together and you'll see it kind of just pops out like this. You'll have one edge going towards you, that's this one here, and one edge going away from you. And what you're going to do from this point is just grab that one that's further from you and pull it to the right, and the one that's closer to you and pull it to the left, giving you this nice flat diamond shape like this. And you will just crease down that now, right down the middle. Flatten it out. You do want to make sure the edges are nice and flush though. That is important. It's always important to be flush. And what you're going to do next is just take it, fold it into itself, fold the edges closed, effectively making the exact same shape, but now you have a line going down the middle there. Crease it down again, and now you have that same diamond shape, but with a line going down the middle. And that line is mostly for us blindies, It's going to help us locate the middle, because next what you're going to do, with it laying down, you want those creased edges further from you. This closed portion, as I like to call it, you're going to want that further from you, because what you're going to do is you're going to take the right side and fold it up towards the top, but just into the middle. And you're going to want that to taper down to the point at the bottom, that opened side. And I will show you that in just a sec. And the reason this line down the middle helps is for us blindies. It makes it both easier to locate the edge or the middle. And if you still have trouble finding it, like I definitely do, you can just pick up that edge you're not folding, that left or right side, whichever side you're not folding. Oh, excuse me. And use it as a wall, and you'll just take it up to that wall. So you'll give it this nice angular fold with a straight line going down across the top. Not down, going across the top. Kind of just below that top point there. And you're going to repeat the same step on the left side. And once more, if you want, you can just pick up that right edge or that left edge, whichever one you've already folded, and use that as a guide. It'll help you find the middle. And you can just push it up against that wall and then crease down the edge. You'll end up with this nice kite shape and a nice straight line going all the way across the top of that part there. Next, what you'll do is you'll flip it over, but over the y-axis, right? You're still going to want that closed portion further from you, folks. So you're going to flip it over that way, and you're just going to repeat those steps. And you want them to match that side you've already folded. You don't want them to mirror it, you want them to match it. I have explained this poorly before and have had people come back with an hourglass shape. You don't want an hourglass shape, you want a real skinny diamond. Yes, the skinny diamond is the shape you're going for, and once I have that done, I'll hold it up and show you sighties. That's my slur for people who can see. I call you sighties. Unless you're nice to me, then I call you eyeballs. You know, do me a favor, I'll be like, hey, thanks, eyeballs. So you get this skinny triangle here, starting down, or skinny diamond, I'm sorry, starting down at the open edge and going up towards the closed edge. Closed edge being those creases from the initial plus sign fold. And it will end, or it will have a triangle on top that ends at the top creases you made, not creases, but the folds that you made going up that now make a straight line across this diamondy shape. And you will fold at the bottom corners of that triangle down and over, going no further than those corners, and you'll crease that down. Nice and good. Because what you're going to do next is you're going to open up back to that first diamondy shape we made, not the skinny one, the fatter one, and you'll take the lower edge of the paper and fold it up and over. You'll separate it out from that opened side and take that up and over. And it doesn't like to cooperate a lot when you're folding it up and over because it's got to go from folding one way to folding the other way, and paper really hates doing that, let me tell you. But when you do it, you'll end up with this shape here, nice long diamond, and you'll have that same skinny, smaller diamond on the back, and we're just going to repeat this step there too, folding that triangle down at the bottom corners of it, creasing it nice and good right there. And then you're going to open that up back to that initial fat diamond and fold it up and over. Once more, shoving your fingers into the corners of the paper here and up the edge or up the creases of what will become the face of that fox, because once we get this second part done, we end up at what I affectionately call the fox face. So if you hold it with the ears up, you can move them towards and away from you, and you'll have the face on bottom. Bada bing, bada boom, as I like to say, apparently. So once you're at the fox face, what you're going to do is you're going to take either side of the face and just fold it down, covering the ears, or up, covering the ears, if you will. Just like this. You don't want to undo any folds, you're just going to take it at that nice little, there's a little bit of a crease in the middle there, you can feel it, and you're just going to fold it down at that point. Keeping that shape, just closing it over those ears. And you'll have one side still separated from the ears and one side covering the ears, which is great. That's what we want. Then you'll have the ears looking like this behind that other side, and what you're going to do is you're going to take one of the ears and you're going to fold it so it sticks out at about a 90-degree angle, maybe about halfway down. You don't want to fold the whole thing down, just about halfway down, so it's poking out nice and straight like that. You're going to do this to both ears, folding them out, and you're going to want them to be at the same level. You're going to want them both to be sticking out straight. You're going to want them to be at the same level. So to test that, we can close it up. And see, I've messed it up. Mine aren't at the same level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and just move it down a little bit. You want them to be nice and as flush as you can get them. There we go, just like this. Now you'll keep it closed and you'll flip it over so that those little pointy bits are now sticking out closer to the bottom of the shape. Because we're on to the final steps. I mean it this time, guys. I know I say this a lot and then have 13 steps after it, but this time it really is. We're getting there. Because now all we got to do is make the face. So you'll take this part here, this face portion, and you'll fold it down, making a really long face. Like bada boom, what the crapola. Bam. Oh, that might be a little too far down. Hang on, hang on. Bam! Alright, there we go. Long face. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to open up that face, you're going to flatten that out up top, and you're going to fold that face back a bit. You're not going to undo the fold, you're going to add a new fold where you just take that whole beak part and fold it back so the face looks weird and flat. But don't worry, because then what you're going to do is you're going to take that at about the halfway point, and you're going to fold it back forward again, so that the beak sticks out a little bit past that bit there. And I like to call this face-beak separation. So you can see it's got the face and then it just drops to beak right there. Not like the swan or the crane that just have face-beak. Just beak-face. This has a face and a beak. Face-beak separation. And just like that, folks, you have made the crow. And if the feet are done right, hey, look at that. It'll stand. I don't think you can see it, but I promise, right here below the camera, it is standing up. Let me see if I can show you. I don't know if that's doing anything, guys. I'm fucking blind. So maybe you can see it. I can't tell. I'd say I'm blind as a bat, but that would imply that bats are blinder than they are. And so, with that, you have your crow. So go ahead, and that little bit of excess from the beginning, you could always go back to the start of this video and start over, starting with this tiny little sheet. You can do all the same steps again and have a very tiny crow. This should give you enough for, I think, maybe another 3 or so more tiny crows. So you can have your own little murder of crows. Well, folks, until next time, which will hopefully be tomorrow, I have been your blind brother, and this has been Origami with your blind brother. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Pow pow. Finger guns for the blindies.